Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Morning. So someone was asking what happens, and this is for people who are collecting Social Security disability and they are working part-time at the same time. And what happens when their 36 months of extended period of eligibility, EPE, um, ends. So we'll get to it in a second, but just so you can catch up, if we start to work part-time under SGA, or not under SGA, but in any event, whether it's over or under SGA, but it is over the TWP amount, which is trial work period amount. We do 9 such months in a rolling 5-year period. We have videos on that. Once we hit that 9th month, the following month is automatically an EPE, extended period of eligibility. And that is a 36-month period. And what that means is if you keep working any of those months where you go over SGA, so it's no longer TWP amount, which in 2024 I think was 1110. It is now the SGA amount, which was 1550 in 2024. We're breathing down the neck of almost at 2025. So for any of those months in that 36-month window, that 3-year window that starts the month after your trial work period has ended, if you actually got into your trial work period, you don't have to when you work part-time. You can avoid that altogether. But for those that have, they will be hitting their EPE. During the EPE, if they work any single month or more than 1 month above SGA, and again, 2024, that's 1550 gross per month, that month of benefits that they received for the month they worked that much, they owe back to the SSA. And because the SSA doesn't really find out about it until a bit after, you're going to have an overpayment and something that you have to pay back. If you stop working under SGA the following month or 4 months later, then your benefits will kick back in for the months that you did not work SGA. Keep in mind, during the EPE, they can find that you are not disabled, and they can use the fact of whatever work you're doing. If it shows that you're not disabled, let's say it shows you can do something you said you couldn't do, be mindful that you're still subject to CDRs and all that kind of stuff. Okay. The difference between EPE and trial work period is that during the trial work period, you can still be booted off of Social Security disability due to not being medically disabled, as per, medical evidence or what have you. They just can't use the fact of your work and that your work is over SGA potentially during your trial work period to find that as a basis for not being disabled anymore. When you get into your EPE, they can look at your work. So that's the big difference largely with trial work period and EPE. So what happens when the 36 months of the EPE ends? Let's say you went all through your EPE, you never went over SGA, you didn't know back any months, you're keeping your work very properly confined to under SGA. Once the 36 months is over, you absolutely do not want to ever go over SGA because that will be the end of your benefits. The extended period of eligibility gives you a little buffer. So that sometimes you go over, sometimes you go under. You only have to pay back the ones where you go over. After your extended period of eligibility, you are not, again, if you go over SGA, you're not later allowed to be eligible again on that same claim. You have lost your Social Security disability. So when we work, we really have to pay attention to what we're doing, our incomes first and foremost. I think it's really important to look at the substance of the work also, but that's, a little more subjective in some ways, but the black and white numbers of what you're earning, it's really, really important to keep track. It never ceases to amaze me when someone says, "Oh, I might have gone over SGA. I didn't realize." Well, what is wrong with you if you are working while you're collecting a benefit that you get for not being able to work substantially, yet you decide not to know what substantial means and go ahead and do it? Doesn't make sense. It's not wise. It's not an adult decision. So I think people need to need to pay a lot more attention if they're going to be working. I'm a big advocate of disabled people on benefits working and keeping their benefits when they do it properly. It makes for so much better quality of life. They seem to have a much more enjoyable private life when they work a little part-time. They're bringing in extra money for themselves, or if they have a family, they're contributing more. And it's just that whole, I don't know if I should use the word self-esteem, but it really goes far, I think, to such an extent that it probably makes the person healthier in the end. Again, assuming it's work that is conducive to their, their disabilities and it's not harmful to them. Which, of course, if you're going to do that, you might want to ask your doctor if you are not sure, if it would be dangerous for you, depending on what the job is, I'm sure. But yeah, after that EPE is over, guys, any month you go over SGA, you just put the fork in your well done case and it's over. And what happens is if you then drop below SGA and you still have those severe impairments that never really got better, you can file again. You can even do an expedited reinstatement request. It's kind of the same thing as filing again, but supposedly it's expedited. Supposedly. And that's what I would do if that happened. I've had people who purposely went back to work, knowing they are going to get off of SSD, were able to do it for a couple years. And then, as often happens when we have incurable impairments, as we age, they might get worse over time. So while they had a couple years of improvement enough to go back to work, it then deteriorated. And we've done expedited reinstatements. Sometimes if too much time has passed, it is a full-blown new application. Not a big difference. Might be a hair faster in theory, expedited reinstatement, but I don't really know how much faster it is. I haven't seen them be very fast. Although nothing is as slow as it is now on initial and recon. It's a bit of a joke right now, but hopefully that's going to clear up in the next months or year or so. All right, kids, that's it. EPA, EPE, and what happens when you work SGA after it? You lose your benefits. Bye now. Hey, so if the subject matter of the video you just listened to is of interest and you want more on it, stay tuned. Here's another one about the same topic, but a little bit different. Bye now. Good afternoon. This has been crazy. Trying to get this video has taken me literally forever. But anyway, I promised it a few weeks ago. This is the follow-up to the trial work period. So you'll know there's at least 2 videos on that, and there's a blog article. When your trial work period, when those 9 months are done, the 9th month, okay, the very next month is going to be your extended period of eligibility, EPE. And the first 3 years of that is your re-entitlement period. Oftentimes they coincide, but not necessarily. So know that the 3 years is critical in terms of being paid anything from Social Security disability after your trial work period is over. So again, this is important for SSD people only, not SSI. And it is relevant to anyone who is working part-time or full-time or thinking about doing so. And it could be during a pending claim, or it can be during your collection of benefits. So kind of important for a lot of people. Anybody working or thinking about working, got to know this stuff. Okay, so your first month of EPE and any month thereafter for that 3 years, for any month that you earn over SGA, you are not going to be eligible for your payment. So this is determined, like sometimes it's figured out by the SSA much later, even though you told them you were going back to work. They don't really get to do the numbers, so they see them from perhaps the IRS or the employer reporting. So you need to keep track. If you are making over, you got to know that the money that you got, you're not going to be owed. So I'd put it in a bank account, earn some interest on it, and get ready to ship it back. Otherwise, you're going to have a big overpayment that's going to make your life a hairy nightmare. Okay, so any month you're earning over SGA, you're not going to be eligible for your benefit. If you plan on working, as long as you can part-time and you're still very impaired and can't work full-time, I highly suggest you consider how much you earn and don't go over the SGA amount at any point. Why lose that? Okay, so then any month you do not earn SGA, you will be eligible for your payment. So of course you have to kind of keep in in touch with the SSA and let them know what's going on, it's probably easier to get your benefits kicked on again to get word that you owe back. So the owing back can build up. And this is why I want you to be on top of it when you're working. As you know, 2023, the SGA is 1470. So it'll probably go up in 2024. It was a little less in 2022. Very rarely does it not move, but occasionally. Okay, so the EPE, the re-entitlement portion of the EPA goes on for those 3 years. Let's say you're playing around and occasionally you pop over SGA. This happens a lot of times with people that make tips. Sometimes you get a surprising tip on a credit card. Maybe it's a holiday season. And I'll tell you, that's going to screw you. You're going to lose your benefits. So you have to be on top of this. I probably wouldn't even be doing a tip generating job if I was on benefits, unless I'm laying low at like $500 a month. You know, it's really minimal. So that tips are really not going to impact it. When your 3 years is over with your extended period of eligibility, and of course, this is assuming that you have not already lost your benefits due to you don't have the protections of the trial work period. Again, look at those 2 videos and the article, but you're not going to have the protections of them not being able to look at you. So if they look at you and they see that your income is often SGA and you're losing your right to a benefit that month frequently, the nature of your job can be indicative of improvement because you weren't able to work maybe at all before, then they're going to be looking. Plus, everyone is subject to a CDR at some point, generally speaking. So that's a continuing disability review. So assuming none of that has happened and you are still, on the books, so to speak, with SSA, the month after the first month after your EPE is expired, which is the re-entitlement section of your EPE, that first month after that you happen to earn SGA, you're done. You're done. There's no more re-entitlement to come back and catch the next month of benefits because you're not working that month. The first month after your EPE, the re-entitlement section of your EPE, because technically your EPE could extend beyond those 3 years. Your extended period of eligibility extends after the 3 years, so long as you don't earn SGA. You earn SGA, you just killed it, okay? SGA is so important at this point. Trial work period was very important in terms of protecting you while you earn SGA and even $10,000 a month if you want for those 9 months. But after that, it's the EPE. So you have got to not get kicked off, if you're still disabled from working full time, just because you aren't paying attention to dollars and go a hair over SGA. Okay, it's going to come bite you after 3 years. And during the 3 years, it's still going to bite you because every time you do it, you got to send that money back. That could be many, many thousands of dollars, right? So don't do it. Pay attention to your extended period of eligibility, your re-entitlement period, which is the 3 years that are the beginning of that, and try not to let that extended period of eligibility end. Figure it out. You're either able to pull it out and be an SGA person, even if you're, can't work full time, or you can't. But you have to pay attention, figure it out. Okay. All righty. Take care, guys. Bye.